I've been wanting to do this for a little while. So I guess as you get older, you slow down. So it should have been out last week. But this is interesting because somebody sent me this. And I think you've seen the channel make its rounds in the space about the conversation with, Kevin Samuels started this. So where this guy actually interviews not only guys, but also mostly women on dating, mating, and what they think about male and female relationships. So I look at them from time to time, and they can be interesting. But I've heard most of the stuff that they've said before. So with this one, since I do Octanes, and we deal with what we call 92s, which is educated corporate women that are a little bit bougie, a little bit demanding, and the problems that we have with them, but also the problems that they have dating. And I thought this particular woman was typical of a 92, especially a black 92, and their worldview, for lack of a better term. Some people say they're delusional. Some people say that they're frustrating to be with. Some people say they're demanding, but they have their own worldview, and where does that come from, even in the face of it not working? This particular woman, I think Abuki Cabal, Rodney actually did another one of the videos with her, and not the same one that I'm getting ready to do. So at first when I saw it, I said, oh, he's going to do the same one, so I don't need to do it. But I found out he did a different one. So we're going to start this up, and we're going to get this rolling so we can get this out of the way. This is what I call 92 Octane and their worldview. And I'll put the link to the description of the video where you can actually find the whole video uninterrupted. We actually go and look at it for yourself, support the guy, subscribe to his channel, all the other stuff, yada, yada, yada. But we're going to get this started. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is a reaction video, so it's fair use. I'm going to try not to go through the whole video because I want you to actually go support the guy. But
going back to something you said earlier, what is your theory as to why so many wonderful black women are so single?
I don't have a theory. If I had an actual theory, I wouldn't be single. I do think that a part of it comes from, and I can only speak for me, I think that once you get to a certain age and you have a certain amount of degrees or titles, that you become intimidating to men. You just become intimidating to them because, especially if in my situation, I don't have any kids, I've never married, never been divorced, none of that stuff. So, and I have the degrees, and I have businesses, and I do this and that. That can be intimidating because if I met someone when I meet men who intimidate me, it's.
In other words, this is called checking boxes. I tell 92 guys all the time, with 92 women, there's a list that they have, and there's boxes that you check. 92 women especially check boxes, okay? They compare their list to your list, and there's boxes that you check off to make you more attractive to them or more desirable to them versus not. This is really something with educated professional women, right? There's a list and there's boxes, and what she's going through is checking her boxes and comparing men that also check the same boxes, continuing.
Because they have this, all these things. So I think that is a big part, because now black women are some of the most educated women, and we're out here getting degrees and getting this and getting that, and we're being independent, and we have our own, we're not trying to wait for necessarily a man at this point in life.
And basically, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man, and I need a partner to compliment me. Okay. In other words, I'm just as good as a man. That's what she's really saying. And really what she's saying is black men are behind and they have to keep up because we so bad. We know we some bad boss bitches. That's basically what she's saying.
And I can only say that for like 30s and up because that's where I'm at. But yeah, and I think that it doesn't become a big deal that you're single until after you hit 30 as a black female.
Bars. What did Kevin say? Half off at 30 doesn't become a big deal. Bars.
So let's dig deeper. Because I think we can go further than it's because men are intimidated of me. I think there's more there.
Well, yeah, I think that's a big part of it, though. It's
Okay.
the intimidation factor.
Okay, so tell me more.
I think besides the intimidation factor, I think it's also, it seems like black men want things that black women aren't willing to do. Like I'm not trying to just like cater to your world. Like I need you to be a part of my world too. You know, I expect you to have your shit together too.
Expect. In other words, I'm not even a partner. Basically, I need you to be part of my world, not two. Okay. She's trying to soften it by saying two, like I'm going to meet you halfway. That's not really what she's saying. You got to fit into what I'm doing because I'm bad and I've got all these accomplishments. I check all these boxes. And if you don't check, you can't be part of my world. That's what she's saying. That's where she get that two from. And you can't expect me to be something else, right? I'm a boss chick and you have to keep up and I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. You got to fit in. That's what she's saying.
Like, you know, it's just like, I think that there are expectations that black men feel that black women have that are too high, like standard wise. And
Bars.
I don't think that, I'm not saying that everyone's standards aren't high. Like I have high standards,
See?
so I get
See?
it. Like that disqualifies people.
Yes, it does. In her mind. See?
You know,
See?
it is what it is. But I do think that plays a part in it, or a black man.
A big part.
Like, nah, she thinks she this, or she
is.
thinks she
She
that,
does.
or I want me a.
You see, she thinks she this or she thinks she that. She just says she does think that she is this, that, and the third because she just went through the list, right? So she does think that she's all that at a bag of chips plus a soda, right?
And bitch just out here with like, maybe I'm not gonna be out here with my ass out. Like, you know, maybe that's not gonna be me. Like, maybe I'm gonna want you home on the weekend every other time, you know, like.
So I think part of the reason we're missing each other is I think your idea of a black man is different than mine.
Well, of course, because you're a black man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but because of that, like, there might be certain things I say about black women, and you're like, "Who are you talking about?" And then there might be certain things you say about black men. I'm like, "Who are you talking about?" Yeah. So let's do this in as much detail as you can. Describe your ideal black man.
Lord, my.
Here we go. Here we go. This is a moment of truth. This reveals everything. So pay attention, y'all.
Ideal black man. Okay. I would like someone who is financially stable, who is emotionally mature, and is able to communicate on a adult level with me.
What does that mean?
Someone who is responsible, who is driven and passionate in whatever they're doing. So whether it's
Notice the driven part. I always tell guys, okay, you get a 92 like this, driven and passionate are the two words they always use. Driven and passionate, okay? Got to remember, if you want this kind of partner, okay, because they believe they're driven and passionate, they want you to match that. That's what they're there for. So if you don't want to be driven like a horse, you know, to whatever success they deem that you should have, it's not the woman for you, okay?
in your 9-to-5 job, or if you're a hustler and you're out here as a creative or as an entrepreneur, like, you gotta be doing something. Like, you gotta be doing something. Like, we're not sitting here just hoping and wishing. I want someone who is able to, like, truly romance me, like, take me on the dates and buy me sweet things and text me in the middle of the day and call me at night. Let's go on trips. I want someone that's going to be adventurous.
That's what Sergeant Willie Pete calls an on-point simp. Okay, she wants an on-point simp. Now watch what's going to happen.
And who is a dreamer. Like, I need someone who can dream too, because I'm a creative and I'm a creative mind, and I can't be with someone who is just satisfied at just existing. Like, I need you to have some passion in your life. My ideal man also is super family oriented, like loves family, not a mama's boy. I need you to be with me. I need you to know, like, hey, it's here, but I want you to love your family. And if you have children, take care of your kids, be taking care of your kids. Like, if you got a kid, you need to be taking care of it. If we're together, like, that's something that I need. I would prefer someone not to have a child so that we can start a family together. But that's very unlikely right now. It's hard to find a.
A lot of times when you hear chicks describe this, basically she's tossing the best parts of the men that she's dated together, and she's making this kind of Frankenstein that she takes a piece from this guy, a piece from that guy, a piece from this guy, a piece from that guy, and she's putting it all together in a man that doesn't exist. Continuing.
Unlikely right now. It's hard to find men that don't have kids that are 30 plus. They're out there, but I haven't seen tons of them. I think I also want someone that's like spiritual. Like, you gotta have, I'm not saying you need to be fire baptized like in the church every single Sunday, but you need to have a relationship with God, and we need to be able to connect on a spiritual level, because I'm a spiritual being. And I love God, and I love talking about the universe, and like, I just love it.
Okay, so let's assume that man exists.
Okay, yeah, he's out there somewhere.
See, let's assume that a man exists, and look, he's out there somewhere. Never met this guy. He's out there somewhere. This Frankenstein that we created, he's out there somewhere, right? Continuing.
Out there somewhere.
Where you at?
Now, another thought experiment.
Yeah.
Describe in as much detail as you can that hypothetical man's ideal woman.
Yeah, so I think it's the same thing. She needs to have her shit together. Like, you need to have your own. You need to be self-sufficient, like taking care of your own stuff, like living by yourself, have a job, if I'm asking you to be loving, then I need to be that way too. Like, I need to be just as much wanting to cater to you. So calling you, texting you, planning the dates and the trips too. Like, I think that guy is also going to be wanting someone who is stylish and who wants to be out on the scene with him when he's out there. I think also the female is able to be emotionally mature to the point of saying, if you with your dudes, you with your dudes. Like, not, hey, what you doing every 5 minutes? I need to be that female.
So explain to me what the difference, because you're literally saying he wants a female version of himself. So what are the differences though?
Basically, that's what she's saying. And that she wants a reflection of her. Basically, she wants a reflection of her that's better. That's what she wants. That's what the on-point simp. He needs to have what she has, but be better. More of what she wants. So basically, she needs the guy to, like I said, assuming the guy exists, right? It's Frankenstein that she's piecing together.
Are there any differences, or you think that type of man would want just a female version of himself?
I think that he would want a female. I mean, honestly, I think that, I feel like that sort of man who is that focused and driven.
The answer is no.
And about his business is going to want a partner. Like,
that's the same way.
Not necessarily the same, but has the same qualities and the mindset. I think it's about mindset. I think, maybe she doesn't have her own business, but she is sure as hell putting in time at her job and doing what she needs to do.
So let me ask you this. Do you know men like that?
Yeah, I do.
And what type of women do they idealize? Is it
Exactly.
what you described, or is it different?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I don't know if it's. I honestly probably haven't asked them enough.
You should,
I really should.
because you're very wrong.
What?
Yes, she is wrong.
What
Yeah.
kind of woman they want?
Yes.
What
Yes.
kind of woman do they want then?
Men don't want a female version of themselves.
What do y'all
That's
want?
competition. We want a compliment.
See, and I think that's the problem. Like, why is that competition? That should not. Someone who is as equally as driven as you, that should never be competition.
Let me give you an analogy. If I'm a point guard and we have the next draft pick, I'm a point guard for the Lakers, and we have the next draft pick, I'm not looking for point guards. I need a center. I need a small forward. I need a power forward. I need a shooting guard, right? Which means that we both play basketball, but we have different roles, responsibilities, different assignments. We need to be at different places on the court. But if I ask for another point guard and, for instance, try to make them play center, we're going to have a problem. Because when it's time to bring the ball up the court, I want to bring the ball up the court. And that's partly why some relationships fail, because you have 2 point guards, 2 leaders, 2 heads.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's why two relationships. I don't think that's why a lot of relationships fail.
Exactly.
Why do you think a lot of relationships fail? A lot of black relationships fail.
Is
Exactly. He's telling her the truth. See what I was saying about that? This is the truth, but they can't accept it because their worldview can't accept it. And this is typical. Like even though she knows it's true, because she sees it out in the real world where she's not getting picked, and the guys that she wants that are closest to her ideal are not picking her. But it's got to be something wrong with them. It's got nothing to do with her. Continuing.
that it's not about having 2 leaders, because as a leader, a good leader is also a good follower.
That sounds good.
It is good. I mean, if I'm going to lead, I need to be able to
Here comes the bullshit.
support you too. So I'm not saying that my ideal man, that we're both like, oh, I'm going to pay for this and I'm going to pay. No, it's like, okay, when it is your time to flex and like you have your lane, like I allow you to be as masculine as you want to be and I be as feminine as I am. But
Allow.
in my femininity,
Allow.
I am
Hear that?
still
I'm
a
still in
leader
charge.
in that. Like
I'm in
I still
charge.
manage my household. I still work my job.
I'm still in charge. It doesn't matter. See what she's saying? I'm still in charge. I allow you to be masculine. I allow you to lead. So even though you're leading out front, it's because I'm behind you and I'm allowing you to do it. I'm actually really controlling it from behind. She wants to be the owner. She don't want to be the point guard. She want to be the owner.
do my shit. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that the reason that relationships do not work, I mean, mine is that there isn't honesty. Like, the communication is off. Like, you've got 2 people who are on 2 different pages. They come together for attraction.
I agree.
Yeah, like, oh, you fine, I'm fine. Like, it's gonna, that's like, it's not like, it's surface. So then when it comes time for you guys to actually get down to the nitty gritty of what makes a relationship work, when it comes time to people to be able to give and be flexible, like nobody's trying to give. Like there's no compromise in there. There's no, okay, you take lead and I'm a follow, and then you take lead and I'm a follow. And this is your strength, so be strong in it. Oh, you're better at this, then be better at this. I think it is so much of it just like there's no real communication because you're not real with each other. Like you're not coming on the pretenses of let's be real, let me get to know you. It's, oh, you fine, let's fuck. Like, oh, let's be together because we're gonna look good. We're gonna be able to be fly together. Like,
It's a lot of childish.
yeah, it's not real. Like, when you think of a relationship, I think what makes good relationships work is the ability to be fluent and to be strong in the things that you are strong.
She doesn't mean fluent. She means fluid. That's what she means. Fluid. In other words, just like gender fluid, the way these women are raised, especially 92s, they believe in fluidity, right? Gender roles are supposed to be fluid. she's not saying it because she doesn't want to run the guys off. She wants to say the right things, even though she doesn't mean it. That's how come she's getting caught up. She's trying to say the right things, even though she doesn't believe it. Continuing.
Again, and to allow that other person to be strong and great in the things that they are great in. Like, I can't be overstepping where you at. If you say, hey, I'm the man, I want to take care of the home or do whatever, cool, let me let you do that. But I still want to feel empowered in my own home.
See, notice what she's saying. Let you do that. You're not in charge, right? And that's why she's having a problem finding a guy, because in her mind, she still has to be in charge. She has to be in charge of her life. So that's where the let go comes in. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to allow you to do it. I'm giving an allowance for you to do it. So I'm going to give, she's a boss, right? Just a boss allows you to do your job, right? You don't just do your job. The boss facilitates and allows you to do it. She wants to be a manager. Dr. Johnson was actually saying that. He was just saying that about relationships, about women allowing, okay, and letting. Continuing.
To make decisions.
A lot of men are going to hear that and see red flags. I'll try to explain that, but why do you think that is? Before I try.
What, red flags on what?
What you just said. Like, why do you think men would see that and be like,
That what? But what part? What did I say that was a red flag?
I should also be a leader, and I should also be able to put my foot down and make decisions and stuff like that. Why do you think some men would see that as a red flag? Some black men.
Well, if you see a red flag in your woman saying, hey, I want to have a voice in the decisions that we're making in our house.
Not your woman, like a woman. Like, let's say it's a first date. Somebody just met and she's talking about kind of like how you described the ideal guy and then his ideal woman being essentially the same person. Why do you think most guys wouldn't want that? Hypothetically.
Ego. I mean, of course not. Like, it's just, I really feel like it's a bunch of ego. You want to be the man. You want to be the head, the this, the that, the all that, and that's great. Like, as a female, like, I want you to be that. For me personally, I want you to be the man. Like, that is your job, but it is also our job. Like, for me, a relationship is partnership, and so there's a level of respect that has to come in that partnership. So if there's a red flag with me saying, like, I want to make decisions in this household too, like, then we have an issue on your idea of what partnership is. Because I'm not subordinate to you. Like,
there it is. I'm not subordinate to you. There it is. I'm not subordinate to you. She's not going to say that she's in charge. She's going to give you that we're co-creating, right? Which is why she's not married.
Like, you don't rule over me, we rule together. It is a household together. And I understand, I'm a Christian, I understand, like, the man is supposed to rule the household.
There she go with Christian thing.
And the woman is supposed to come underneath her, whatever. I get it, but there is mutuality. Yeah, I mean, sure. I guess it's contrary to say that he is going to rule over me. But I also think if you read the Bible, it talks about how men are supposed to also entreat their women as the bride of Christ and as a counterpart. And like God says, it's not good for man to be alone. Therefore, he created woman. Therefore, so they could be together. I think that there are.
She's making it up as she goes along. Okay. This is funny. And a lot of so-called Christians do this a lot, right? They don't really study it. They don't really get into it. They kind of bring it in and they kind of mush it in a form that they want it to be in. In other words, I'm still going to be in charge. I don't care what you say. So I'm going to bring in the Bible because I think that's an authority figure or an authoritative text. I'm going to actually mush it to where I'm going to use this against you, but I'm going to put my spin on it.
Certain roles that exist for a man to do, like the provider sense. Like a man, that's your role, like be the provider. So as a provider, of course, you cover the household. You are the covering of the household. You are the head of the household. As me, as the nurturer, I provide for the inner workings of the household. Well, then let me work the inner workings of the household.
Sure.
You know, like
I think when it becomes a problem is like if a man says, for instance, we're trying to make a decision, and a man says, "And that's final."
Okay.
Does it end there?
It depends on what it is.
See, watch your face. Yeah, watch your face.
Anything.
Not
He just says
anything.
that's final. Does it
See?
end?
Well, has
See?
he allowed me to?
Yeah, you've had conversations, and he's making an executive decision. He said that's final. Do
Look
you
at her
say,
face. Watch your
"Yes,
face.
sir, you got it"?
Watch your face.
Or what happens in that?
Look at it. She's getting ready to lie. She's getting
In
ready to lie. Look
black
at it.
households, what happens?
Of what currently happens or what I would want in my house.
Give me both.
What currently happens is, I think it depends. It always depends on the context and what the subject is about, because it's never black and white.
Come on.
I think when it becomes
Stand on it.
like, I'm the only one and this is my decision, that's when you have issues, because then you start to negate the other person. Because just because you say that's final, that may not be the best decision.
See, I told you. See?
And I get so I think it depends. I think now what you're going to see is a bunch of pushback,
Yeah.
because black women are so tired of black men being like, well, what I say is it, and you have to.
Yeah. Mr. Ike Turner, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what they've been taught by their mothers.
Submit to me because that's what the Bible says, but then you don't read the rest of the Bible where it talks about
Neither did you.
how men should treat women and how men should treat their wives. And so what I personally would want is it never to be like an executive decision on one person.
See, I told
I
you.
think that
Told you.
we decide.
We decide.
And if it
We-
is a point where
we
you
means
make
me.
a final decision, I say, okay, it's because I really feel like, one, either go on, I know you're wrong, but you're going to do this so you can understand that
Yeah.
I'm right.
And I'm right,
We'll come
see?
back later.
Yeah, come back
because
later,
it does
see?
happen, and more
Yeah.
than likely it will. But then two, even if that doesn't happen and you do make that executive decision, it's not from a place of, I'm making this as, like, forget what you say, like, this is our decision and that's it. Like, it's always gonna be in love. It's gonna have to be out of what is best.
So you don't believe in executive decisions? You don't believe there's any time where the man should put his foot down and say, that's final?
I do. I mean, sure, you can make your executive decision. Do I always think that it's gonna be the best decision? No, depending on the situation.
Oh, that's cute that he made a decision. Oh, look at him. He's a man. Oh, look at my boo.
don't always think it will always be the best decision.
No, but that's not the point. The point is, who does the buck stop with? Who gets to decide what the best decision is?
We get to decide.
That's interesting.
Like,
Told you. We, it's not we, it's basically me. They say we to be nice. Because in that we means me.
for my relationship, it's gotta be we. Now, if this comes down to, let's use an actual example that I can think of. So say it's, I don't know. What?
Yeah, use that one. The one you're thinking about that you bypassed because it's a bad example because it doesn't fit your narrative. Yeah, use that one. She's not gonna use it. Now she got to go to another one. Now can't use that one. Can't use that one. Can't use that one. This one. Let's try this one.
Where we're going to, I don't know, making a decision about, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a decision that.
See, she can't think of one that fits a narrative. See, that's the problem because she doesn't want him to be right. You can look at her. That's how come she's doing mental gymnastics right now.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. The kind and caliber of man that you described, because I'm assuming that man is going to be relatively successful. He's going to be relatively powerful, whether physically, from a community standpoint, from an intellectual standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. Because most women want to look up to their man. Do you think he is going to be okay with his authority constantly being challenged?
One, it won't be challenged. I think that if it is viewed as me challenging your authority, then there's always going to be an issue.
Boom. And there you go. Bars. Say it again, baby.
I think if it is viewed as...
So why would he choose that type of woman is my question.
What do you mean?
The type of woman where he might worry that she's challenging his authority.
I don't think he would. That's the thing.
So that conversation wouldn't happen because he wouldn't choose somebody similar to him.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
But you get what I'm saying?
I do and I don't. Like, I think that when I say that...
See, she got to be right.
When I describe my ideal man, and
she got to be right.
Ask me what kind of woman he would think is his
it's
ideal
gonna pick
woman,
you.
and I say that he would want the female version of himself.
Yep.
I see that as two sides of the same coin. That, like, you're gonna want someone that is as equally invested as you, and that is able to ebb and flow with you.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be...
He doesn't want a
It's
man.
not going to be always she's challenging my authority by what she's saying. It's we are both weighing in on this and we're going to make a decision. Like, I can't
The
put
we
it
thing.
away because
That's the we thing.
I'm not saying that there's never a time that he's going to say, this is what I mean, this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to say, okay, that's cool. Like, we're going to do it. Like, out of love, because I think that's also a part of love and being in a successful relationship. It's sometimes learning how to be quiet.
She wants to be, she wants him to act like her dad. That's always out of love. Like the loving father that she never had, right? The loving father that will do what she wants. That's what a lot of women are actually looking for. Be the father, be the provider, be the protector that I want, like a father would be, but that unconditional love to where you're always gonna do exactly what I want without me thinking about it. That's what they want. On point simp.
And just go with it.
So, I mean, I agree with that. I think part of the reason certain relationships don't work is because as a society, we view power in a myopic sense. We view it the same way. And we view power as a masculine thing. And I think the mistake we make is not understanding that power is also feminine.
Yeah.
And I would say that feminine power is actually more powerful than masculine power because it relies on persuasion instead of belligerence and combativeness. I think we fail a lot of times because when your husband, for instance, says, that decision is final, I'm putting my foot down, the wife usually meets that with, how do you know that's the right choice? Masculine energy, as opposed to, okay, babe. And then at night, she whispers in the ear, can we talk a little bit more about it? And be more sweet and more subtle.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. She's screwing up her face. Look at her, because that's not what she wants. That's not who she is. She doesn't want to be supportive. Okay? She wants to be the boss. Look at her face.
Because what's interesting is, and I say it all the time, our community wasn't designed to pair. We're not raising our children to be
Bars.
husbands and wives. And that's why when we ask each other some of these questions, we don't have clear answers. And we're not curious enough to figure out the truth because, like you mentioned before, a lot of us already have preconceived notions that we're unwilling to divorce ourselves of. So I understand how men think. So this man in front of me, fuck what he got to say. I already get it, right? Regardless of if my life shows that I get it. So to spin it to you, what are you unsure about with men? Like when it comes to that scenario, what are you curious about?
Which scenario?
The scenario of putting his foot down and what I say is final. What are you curious about? And try your best not to be condescending.
I'm curious to know if, when I say this is not my decision, if he's going to also be as willing to be quiet and go along with it.
No.
But he should.
Why? You said that the man, and you also brought a biblical text, which reinforces the idea. And I'm not a huge fan of certain parts of biblical text, but it reinforces the idea. It's pretty consistent about it that a woman is essentially man's property. And what he says goes. And that she has no say.
Whoa, you must not read the Bible.
Let's talk about it.
Like you must not read the Bible fully, because what you are speaking of is a scripture of the Bible. And if you continue reading that same chapter, the next verse, it talks exactly how a man should entreat his wife.
Treat, but not
entreat his wife.
Okay,
yes.
Explain that to me. I'm sorry.
How he should
trying to figure a way out of that. See, now she has to examine what she believes. Now she has to examine exactly what it says, and she never thought about it. She always felt it. She never thought about it. Now she has to think about it. Look at her. Look at the gymnastics.
How he should also deal with response cover. I really want to go into the scripture.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Because you know you. Yeah.
I really feel like this is like my angst with the whole church, and I've been.
You're angst with the whole church. The
scripture.
Yes. Why? Yeah. See, there you go. You just disagree with him. Oh, you got to come back. Okay. Now, this is part 2. Now, if you want to see part 2 of this whole thing, go talk to Rodney. All right. If you want to see part 2, go to check out Rodney's video. That's the completion of it. I just wanted to go through it because even with the scripture, even with the Bible, all right, the Bible verse, so she can't really get with it because she disagrees with how it's interpreted. Now he's challenging her. Now go to the scripture and actually tell me exactly what it says, okay? And she's saying, if you keep reading this, it says this. And she started thinking about it. Well, okay, that's not really what I meant. Because when he says, the Bible says that, and literally in a patriarchy, the woman is his property. She belongs to him. Now, is he supposed to abuse his property? Misuse his property or misuse his woman that belongs to him? No. Just like he wouldn't abuse his wagon or his car or his animal, that his horse or something that he depends on. You're going to treat it with love and respect, right? Same thing with the woman, even though the woman's she's on a higher level than that because that's your mate. Okay. But the thing is, just the words that's coming out of his mouth that she's not on equal footing. It's really what it is. In a patriarchy, the woman is not on equal footing, and black women are not raised in a patriarchy. They're actually raised in a gynocracy. Actually, black women believe that black men are beneath them. And if there's something wrong with you, if you don't believe what I believe, there's something wrong with you if you don't sit down and listen to me, and I make a final decision. That's what we call mission creep. Now she's saying that I'm gonna let him lay down the law and put his foot down and stuff like that, which is actually bullshit. Okay. She wants to sound like she's reasonable, and she's not. An executive decision and pull you just like a boss would. But that is a 92 Octane. So we're not going to make this an hour. I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and because she's such a good example of what Kevin calls the modern professional woman. Okay, this is a great example. Rodney actually did part 2, according to with the biblical verse. That's come. She had to basically go to her phone and continue the conversation because she has to prove her point. But since Rodney's already done that one, I'm gonna put a link to Rodney's video in the description and go to part 2 because Rodney actually covers that. But this is an example of what you get with what I call the 92 Octane. Very typical. If you look at Insecure, if you watch it for 5 seasons, this is a typical Insecure type woman. 92 Octane, highly educated, supposedly driven, demanding of their men. Really, they want a on-point, subservient man. That's really what they want. And they buck when when they get masculine authority. That's how come a lot of guys don't pick her. And a lot of guys that meet women like this, and they hear the boxes that she checked, and they are that guy. I don't care if the guy's on point or not. Basically, he's not going to pick her because that's too much. Nobody wants to go through a relationship and fight or constantly negotiate. Okay, unless you're trying to make a lot of money and she facilitates that. Then then you're partners. Okay, you're trying to get somewhere, and I understand that. And if you need that woman to fulfill that mission, that's a partner. An equal partner, then that's different. But anyhow, I think that's enough. Tell me what you think. I finally got this out. She probably should have done it a couple of weeks ago because it's not that big a deal. I'm just being lazy. But you guys in the comment section, tell me if that resonates with you guys that have dated women like this. Tell me if that resonates with you. I've literally dated all classes except for the 100 Octane. 100 Octane I thought was too much for me. One, because I had no money. I'm a regular dude, regular working class guy, and to date 100 Octane requires way too much, way more than I want to spend, way too much trouble than I want to take. Okay, I am not that kind of guy, so I've never dated one. I've been around them. I've heard their demands because they will fully tell you what their demands are with 100 Octanes. They're really clear about what they expect, and they compare you to a whole bunch of guys, okay, that they've dated. So you're fully clear about what they expect and how you measure up with 100 Octane. So that's like I've always bypassed them. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna jump off here. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.